Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's going to be a hot one today here in Brooklyn. I'm just doing a little fine-tuning on my tripod as usual. How are you? Man, first of all, I want to say congratulations to all of us for reaching 6,000 likes on my page. More than 6,000 likes. That is amazing to me. I think that just like not even a couple of months ago, we cracked 5,000 likes, and in just a short period of time, that number is just growing and growing and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for liking my page, for following my page, for sharing my posts. I love you for your support and your belief in what I do. And I know that, I don't do this for likes and I don't do this for follows, but it's just really exciting to see the message growing and the audience growing and the platform growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And when I first started this page, 4 or 5 years ago, I can't even remember when it was exactly. I think it was about 4 years ago now. I was excited when I was cracking 100 likes. So to see it grow so quickly now and to see this exponential thing speeding up, is really, really cool. It's super exciting. I hope that you all are well on this Thursday. Good morning, Mary. I've got my cold brew here, which is saving my life this morning because it's going to be hot. And I've got a full day today. I'm doing my radio show today, so tune in 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, transformationtalkradio.com, and you can hear my radio show. My guest today is Christine Upchurch, who's a friend of mine and an amazing, amazing spiritual teacher, energy worker, healer. And we've got an amazing topic today, spiritual myths and how they bind us, and really talking about how to move through those spiritual myths and how to unload them and kind of, free ourselves from the limitation of spiritual myths. But what I want to talk about today is first of all, these energies right now. Hi, Cleo. Hi, Jan. Yes, I love cold brew too, Cleo. These energies right now, you guys, are no joke. And I just want to take a minute to acknowledge it. I want to take a minute to say, no, you're not crazy. I want to take a minute to say, no, you're not the only one. Hi, Amy. Hi, Belinda. I have talked to many friends and colleagues, some who are spiritually tuned in and some who are not, some who are aware of sort of this energetic thing that we go through and some who are not. And pretty much everybody I know is going through some big intensity right now. Good morning, Emmanuel. So I just want to take a second just to acknowledge that these energies are so intense and feels like pressure. It feels like they're really squeezing and pushing, and it feels like, this momentum that's building because, the equinox, as it always is a big kickoff. It sort of is a slingshot of energy for us that moves us into the eclipse in August. We've also got the Lionsgate portal on August 8th. So that happens, and then we've got the eclipse, and then we've got the solstice, and then we've got the equinox, and then so the solstice kicked us off, and then we've got the equinox in September, and then we're moving to the 11/11 in November, and then the solstice in December. So things are really ramping up, and I always find it so interesting that the last 6 months of the year are always so intense in such a different way. So I just want to take a second to acknowledge that and let you know that you're not alone. If you're feeling the intensity, if you're feeling the pressure that these energies are here creating, and of course it's to serve us and to benefit us, but I just want to take a second to acknowledge that. So it really is, when the energies get really fast and really intense, I find that what happens oftentimes, and I know that this happens with me too, is that the mind tries to keep up with the pace, right? The mind thinks, oh, this is a race and I've got to win. So the mind is always trying to keep up with the intensity of the energies because, again, the mind is still trying to figure out what all of this means. And the mind, unless it has a physical cause or something to point to and say, this is the reason, or this is the thing, or this is the goal. The poor mind is only ever looking for things from the physical, three-dimensional cause and effect perspective. And the truth is that trying to race and trying to keep up with these energies is really just going to make things more intense and make it sloppy and take us out of our center. So in these moments of intensity, especially in these moments of intensity, because really this is always the answer, but especially when we're in these crazy moments, is to really take a second and to really, really deliberately make time to connect to that inner place and to really slow things down by coming back into the moment and really resting in that moment and being in it. Personally, I haven't really been meditating consistently for the past few months, and this past couple of weeks, as things have gotten really, really intense after the solstice, I found myself really being called to meditate again. And the mind, of course, is like, no, we've got things to do, we've got all this stuff, and there, it's always this loop of why, so no. I'm going to be very deliberate with myself. I'm going to create very, very healthy boundaries and know that I really require meditation time. And so yesterday I set my phone timer for 30 minutes and I just said, okay, I'm just going to sit for 30 minutes and I'm just going to be still. And then this morning I did it again. And really sometimes I have to really I have to put myself into that position of master. And, because my mind is the great resistor. And so this morning I said, okay, because I could feel my mind wanting to resist, taking it slow and slowing down, because the mind is like, no, we got shit to do. Let's go. Come on. Because the mind always thinks it's a competition. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. This is the great resistor. The mind is the great resistor trying to come up and tell me how things are. I said, but, the great resistor is no match for the Supreme Master, which is really who I am, right? So it's really, sometimes we need to take control and be the authority in our experience from that place of divine sovereignty and say, no, you know what? There's nothing more important right now than my peace of mind and my balance. So I'm going to take the time, I'm going to make the time, I'm going to deliberately require myself to have this moment of meditation with no other agenda other than just being present. And it really does shift things. And I found myself very easily going back into that place of love, of compassion, of flow, and of ease. And all of a sudden things just open up. And I realize like, oh, it's never as bad as the mind thinks. It's never as dire as the mind thinks. It's never as, sort of that level of panic that the mind just wants to keep going. Just no. So what I want to talk about today, these energies where we are right now, this energetic corridor is really, really calling us to create and to act, to make choices. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago with, the way that I see the successful formula is curiosity, being curious about what it is that we're being called to do, intention, so being curious about it, then setting an intention to sort of serve that curiosity or explore that curiosity, right? I'm curious to do this, so my intention is to right? Whatever it is that I'm moving towards. And then action, right? So I'm curious, I set my intention, then I take action on that intention, and then intuition. I let my intuition guide me. As I take the action and as I move forward, I understand that the path may shift, right? Things may move in a new direction, and that's okay. I just have to trust my gut. And as long as it feels like the thing that I'm doing, or the thing that feels like what I want to do, or the thing that feels correct, or the thing that feels true, then I just follow those impulses. But these energies are really, really intense right now, and they're really calling us to move in a new direction. And especially with this eclipse coming up in August, which is really going to be a really big jump in this bifurcation of realities and these bifurcation of energies. So when things get really, really intense and we're really being called to create and to act and to move in new directions, the mind gets really overwhelmed. Especially when it is a new direction, especially it is when we are being called to create something new or do something new or let something go or shift, right, our perspective and kind of veer over into this new space. Because the mind is only ever able, again, the mind is only an archive of what we have done before. So when we are called by these energies and spurred in a new direction, the mind is going to try to say, but how do we do it? What's the plan? I need precise. I need A, B, and C and 1, 2, 3. I need the spreadsheet. I need the list. I need the diagram. I need the plan. Because the mind just wants to solve it ASAP, right? This is a nail and I am a hammer. And so sometimes it's very uncomfortable for the mind to be in this place where there is no real plan or solution right away. It's not always 1 + 1 = 2. And so not only now do I have the intensity of these energies, now I have this desire that the mind is just itching to solve and to satisfy. And now I also have the discomfort of being in this place where there is no answer immediately, or there is no real clear solution. And when the energies speed up and really start, propelling us forward and nudging us forward, this also creates this desire to like, oh my God, so, suddenly I feel like I'm in a race. So here's what I want to talk about today. And this is why I talk about, letting your desire guide you. And can you let your desire lead you? And yes, you can. It's a decision. It's, again, the decision to move from the fixed state, which is always the mental perspective, to the flow state, which is always the intuitive, emotional, feeling state, which is always going to be clearer and more precise than this one. So, but it also requires a lot more faith and trust and surrender, because again, there's not always an immediate answer. When you're in the flow, you're in the flow, and you may not necessarily know what's around the corner, but that's okay, right? When you're in the flow, you know. Ooh, I like that. When you're in the flow, you know. I'm going to trademark, copyright. So when we're talking about desire, when we're talking about a desire to create or to manifest or to do something new or to do something different, what if having a desire was not something to be fixed or to be satisfied? Because what happens when we want something, right? Let's say I want ice cream. We're going to really simplify this. When I say I want ice cream, I have a desire for ice cream, a craving for ice cream, the mind automatically thinks, okay, problem, solution. The problem is we want ice cream. The solution is to go get ice cream. And so it says, okay, we either go to the freezer or we go to the corner store, right? The mind always has the answer, because in the past, when we have desired ice cream, these are the steps that we took, and this is how we got the solution. Okay, now I've solved the problem of the desire for ice cream, so now the mind can rest. But what about when it's the desire for something bigger? What about when it's the desire for a new direction in life? Something that feels outside of our ability to solve. Like, I'm miserable in my job and I want a new job. I'm miserable in my relationship and I want to find a solution. I'm unhappy, I'm broke, I'm physically ill, whatever it is. When it's something that feels so much bigger than ice cream, when it feels so much more profound, and it's something that is a new experience, we're being called in a new experience. When it's something that feels outside of the ability for the mind to solve, what does the mind do? It says, nope, can't find a solution for that. Nope, don't know how to do it. Guess we can't have it. Shut it down. And then we have this feeling of feeling sad or feeling frustrated or feeling like, God, I can't have it. It's never going to be. I'm never going to be happy, because we're trying to live it through the mind. We're trying to live this inspiration through the mind. So the mind is only an archive of our previous experience, and if we're being called to move in a new direction, the mind has no frame of reference for that, so it's just going to shut it down and say that it's not possible. But when we remember that the only reason we ever choose anything, the only reason we ever want anything, is because of how we think it will make us feel. And whether that's something as simple as ice cream, or a decision as big as who I marry, or a decision as seemingly insignificant as what I wear, or a choice to have a certain career, or to move to move to a new city, whatever it is. The only reason we ever want anything is because of how we think it will make us feel, right? That's the beauty of the human experience, is we use our emotions to create. So when I think of ice cream, I'm laying in my bed, I'm like, gosh, it's really hot, I really want ice cream, and what happens? Immediately I get excited, immediately I start to feel it, immediately I'm like, oh, this is going to taste so good, and I love that one flavor, and I know that they have it at the corner store, and it feels so good, and it's going to feel so good because it's so hot right now, and it's going to be so satisfying, and I love ice cream. So immediately I am making the experience real before I've even gone to the corner store, even if, it's like my mouth is watering, right, even thinking about it. So I have already conjured up the experience, and I haven't even done anything. except for think about it, except for allow the desire to come forth. So what about something bigger than ice cream? What about a better job or a better relationship or physical health or abundance or whatever it is? What if having something bigger than ice cream was the first part of that was loving the desire for it itself? Maybe I've never had what I want, right? Maybe I've never had a better job or a relationship or more abundance. So I can't create the excitement from memory, right? I don't know what it's like, so I can't conjure it up. But why do I want any of those things? A new job, a healthier body, a different partner, a new city, is because of the same reason I want ice cream. Because of the joy, because of the freedom, because of the fulfillment, because of the excitement, because of the satisfaction, or whatever it is, because of what I think this choice will bring me from a feeling energetic state. So what if in order to bring it into form, I must first love not having it? And this is when people go, what? And even and this is a teaching that came through in the Soul Expansion call last weekend. You know, the stuff that's coming through in Soul Expansion is like mind-blowing. And when this information first came through and I shared it with the group, at first I was like, okay, wait a minute. What if in order to receive something, in order to manifest it, in order to actualize something, I must first love the not having it? And I'm not saying not having it as in like, oh my God, you guys, I totally love being broke. I love being sick, right? I love that I've been single for 40 years. No, I'm not talking about that sort of surface, ego love, personality love. I'm talking about the love that comes from the acceptance of what is. Love as in, I love my life now. Love as in, I love myself now. And loving your life doesn't mean that you have to love the circumstances themselves in terms of saying, oh gosh, I hope this miserable experience continues. I mean loving the fact that you are alive, loving the fact that you have a life, loving the fact that you woke up today and you have another opportunity, and loving the fact that where you are right now, you are perfect and you are worthy and you are enough. Because love for your life cannot be conditional. It cannot be, well, when I get this job, then I'll be happy. Then I'll love my life. Well, when I get this, this partner, this boyfriend, this wife, this husband, this girlfriend, then I'll be satisfied. Then I'll feel good. When I lose 10 pounds, then I'll like what I see. Then I'll be happy with myself. In order to see what we desire, we must create a space for it. The desire is the first step in having it. Because the only reason I ever desire something is because it's not here. Right? If I had everything that I wanted, I wouldn't desire anything, right? I would appreciate it and I would love it and maybe I would want more of it and I would get excited about it. But a real big desire in our life, when we're desiring something that isn't here, the first step in receiving it is the desire for it. That's the signal that, oh, there's something else. There's another way. I have room for something, and we must create a space for it. We must allow a space for it to show up, and that space must be built out of love. That means the love of not having it at this present moment must also be part of the space. You must love what you desire so much that you love it even when it's not here. Can you love something without it being there? Can you simply love the desire for it itself? If you want $1 million, can you love the desire for that $1 million as much as you say that you will love the $1 million? Right? Think about it. If I have the urge for more money or the urge for a healthier body, and my response is, fuck you, money, I'm only going to be happy when I get you. Fuck you, healthy body, I'm only going to be happy when my body's not sick, right? I can't hate my body. I can't hate my financial situation. I can't hate my relationship and expect to create a space for it that is loving. that is open, that is compassionate, that is welcoming. Think about something in your life right now that causes you a great deal of distress. Think about something in your life right now that makes you kind of miserable or frustrated when you think about it. Now think if that area of your life were an actual person. Let's just use money, because that's always one that I think most of us have an experience of at one time being sort of at odds with, right? If I'm pissed at money all the time, fuck you, money, you're never here. Oh, well, I was showing up as the desire for more abundance, and then you flipped the bird at me. So I guess I'm not welcome here. So I'm going to slowly back away. So if you want something, can you love the absence of it too? And you might say, well, Andrew, loving something creates a mixed message to the universe, right? If I want what I don't have and I'm happy with not having it, isn't that telling the universe that I'm happy with not having it? No, because love perpetuates love. And when I love money, even when it's not here, I send the message that I love money. The universe isn't caught up in the adverbs and the nouns and the verb. It's only the energy around it is all that the universe is responding to. On the topic of money, I love money or I don't. And when it's not here, I also love it, because the absence of it means that there's a lot of room for it, right? So when I love the desire for financial abundance as much as I love the abundance itself, I open up a space for it to exist. When I'm angry at abundance or afraid of abundance or think that abundance is the root of all evil and I'm expecting abundance to come and change my mind, then I'm holding myself apart from it. I'm going to sit here and be angry until what I want comes along and changes my mind. It doesn't really work that way. Not having what you desire is what gives birth to it. Not having something is what creates the desire for it. So love the desire. If you had it, you wouldn't desire it. If I had a freezer full of ice cream, then my desire for it is going to be much, much shorter and much, much smaller. It's not really much of a desire, because I know that all I got to do is get up and walk to it. So actually, my manifestation is instantaneous, because I know I have a belief that it's right there, and all I got to go do is open the freezer and take it out. So the first level of something actualizing into our experience is the not having it. That's what opens up the space for it to exist. And we so often use the desire for something as evidence that we can't have it. Because again, the mind said, I say $1 million. The mind says, nope, can't have it, not possible, and shut it down. So then I believe what the mind is telling me, because the mind, again, is only the archive. The mind has never had a brilliant original thought in the history of mankind. The mind is the printer. I'm creating what I want, right? The creation, the inspiration, all of these grand ideas come through the heart. They come through intuition. They come from the higher place. And I'm creating it, right? It's, oh my God, it's coming in, oh my God, bingo, epiphany. And the mind is the printer. The mind is the printer for that. So when the desire for something arises, especially if it's a chronic or a long-held desire, we often get angry or anxious about it, right? The desire for money comes up and I automatically say, no, that stresses me out. Thinking about money stresses me out. It makes me angry. It makes me sad. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And money says, oh, okay, I was trying to show up in your experience as the desire for me to let you know that there's space for me, and I'm really here to inspire you to open up and create a space for me. But you got a little twisted, right? You got a little upset, so no, right? Okay, I guess I'm not welcome. When the desire for something comes up, greet it warmly. Treat it with kindness. Open up a space for it and love it. Welcome it like a friend that you haven't seen in forever, or a family member that you love and they're coming to stay with you, and you have a beautiful guest room for them, and you change the sheets, and you got, gave them a beautiful meal. When something that you desire, when the desire for something that you want shows up, ask it, how can I welcome you? How can I create a space for you? What can I do to make sure that you are welcome in my experience? and that you stay? What can I do to open up my life to receive you? Assume that the desire is showing up to work with you. The desire is here. It's the emissary for the actualization of what it is that you want. It's coming here to assist you to create a space for it. You know, it's the forerunner for the experience showing up to make sure that your house is in order, right? This theme of sovereignty has been something that I've been talking about for the past few months, and this idea of us as sovereign beings and just opening up and claiming that power. And saying, okay, this is who I am. I'm the creator of my experience. I'm the master of my experience, and I am the sovereign. So if we're talking about the sovereign, imagine that the desire for whatever it is that you want is the emissary from the other kingdom showing up to say, hey, I just want to make sure, right? We've got a visitor coming. What you want is on the way, and I'm here to open up your home and make sure that everything's in order. How do you feel about money coming? What is it that comes up for you, right? What are the feelings? And that's when we get into all of the work that we oftentimes have to do to create a space for it, right? Because if I believe that money is the root of all evil, what am I going to do when it shows up? I'm going to push it away. So when I open up to it and I ask the desire, show me how to create a space for you in my life, oftentimes the answer is, well, the first thing we got to do is get you to sort of unravel all these beliefs that you hold about why you can't have me, right? And so there may be a little bit of work involved in terms of creating a space for it and getting rid of some sideways beliefs and ideas. And oftentimes when that comes up, we go, oh God, well, I can't have it. That's too much work. No. You've got to be willing to do the work to unload all of the false beliefs that you hold about why you can't have what you want. Because the truth is that you are worthy of whatever you want. From this place, you are worthy. It's just the stories and the loops that we have oftentimes, either consciously or unconsciously, that we hold up as truth. That's our job. That's our job to remove those barriers to whatever we want showing up. And when we ask it, what do I want? How can I create a space for you? How can I make sure that you can come in and be anchored into my experience? And I look and I go, wow, I really have a belief that I don't deserve abundance. Wow, I really have a belief that it's limited. Wow, I really do have a belief that abundance can't be mine. So now I'm suddenly at odds with my desire, right? Now all of a sudden I get twisted up. No, you go back to the feeling. Like, what is the feeling? Abundance is freedom. Abundance is joy. Abundance is ease. And when I have everything that I need, I'm always grateful, right? So practice. This is how we can begin to move through these roadblocks is, how can I get excited and be happy? How can I create an emotional experience, right? When I want ice cream, I'm lying on my bed and I think about it and I get all happy and excited because I've had ice cream before, so I know what it feels like. But I've never had abundance, so I don't even know what that feels like. Imagine, okay, what would I feel like if I had all of my financial needs taken care of? What would I feel like? Oh my God, I would be so happy. I would be so grateful. I would feel so free. I would feel so at ease. I would feel so relaxed. So give thanks for the abundance that is already here. Give thanks for the love that is already here. Give thanks for the ways that your body is doing the best that it can, even within your circumstances of chronic illness or pain. Where in your current experience are you not allowing yourself to acknowledge where your desire is already present? You may not have 2 cents in the bank, but think about it. The air that we breathe, the sunlight, the grass, the flowers, the trees, all free, all abundant. The love of creation has given us this beautiful experience, right? I may not have romantic love, but I've got the love of my friends. I've got the love of my family. I may not have the love of my family and my friends or romantic love, but I have the love of myself. I can start to cultivate that now. Sometimes, and I've said this before, sometimes the only refuge we have is this inner space. And if that's all that we have, then that is enough. In order to receive what we desire, we must claim it. We must say yes to it. We must love the desire for it as much as we think we will love the having of it. Otherwise, it can't come in. If I'm sitting around talking about how love has abandoned me and love is, love is for suckers, or look at those happy people over there and I'll never be happy. I'll never have that. Love is saying, okay, if you insist. And I get it, right? When we have a desire for something, especially when it's something that we've wanted for a long time, it's very difficult to not get upset or depressed or sad or angry when the desire for it comes up, because we feel like we've been betrayed. We feel like it's just not for us. We feel like it's not possible. And we get angry at the desire. Why are you teasing me? Why are you taunting me? I can't stop thinking about the thing that I can't have. What if the desire is actually the experience of it beginning to show up, and it's knocking on the door saying, hey, I'm on the way. And if you would let me in, I will show you how to create a space for me to exist. If you let yourself be vulnerable, if you allow yourself to soften, if you allow yourself to release the anger or the tears or the sadness or whatever it is, and reconnect with that part of you that is eternally hopeful, that always knows the truth, that knows that you are love in physical form. You are the very energy that created all of this. So what you want, you already have it in here. On an energetic, vibrational level, the experience that you want, the thing that you want, because again, the only reason you're choosing it is because of how you think it will make you feel. So when you find a feeling, even if it feels this big, even if it feels infinitesimally minuscule, you find the feeling and you say, okay, show me where to find this. Help me to access this. Let me open it up. Let me feel it. Let me connect with it. Let me see it. Let me breathe it. You find it in here. And then you say, thank you. And then you ask to be shown again, okay, now show me more to be grateful for. Show me more to say thank you for. Show me more to be happy about. Show me more to be excited about. Because I'm on a roll, man, and I just want to say thank you for everything that I already have. And when I can allow myself to be happy and say yes and say thank you, regardless of what I do or do not have, when I find a way to love myself in the midst of whatever circumstances I am in, despite what the mind is telling me, regardless of what it looks like out here, when I can find a way to say thank you and to love myself as I am, to love my life as it is, to remember that I chose this lifetime. I came here out of my choice. I chose this story, I chose this character, I chose these experiences, and I may not remember why right now, but that doesn't matter. I can know enough and believe enough to just say thank you. That's when your shift in perspective happens. Because in order to shift out here, this is the secondary reality. This is the primary reality. And the only way the secondary reality ever shifts as when the primary one does. So when I find a way to say thank you, when I find a way to let go, just let go. Just let go. You're not in control anyway. You're really not. You're in the flow. You're either fixed or you're in the flow. And when you're in the flow, it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter why, it doesn't matter, because you know that you are in the flow. You know that what you want, you are not separate from it. You know that you are not separate from the energy that created it. You know that you are the one creating it, and you just trust and you say, I'm gonna get it, one way or another. What I desire, this or something greater. And when I don't get what I want, it's because I'm either being protected for something or prepared for something greater. So hey, I'm good. I can trust. I'm always guiding myself towards my highest expression when I let go. It's only when I let this thing convince me otherwise that I start to scramble for the bank and hang on for dear life, because I'm going to a place that I've never been before. And this is saying, oh my God, run, run, red flags, alarm bells, don't go into the unknown. And the heart is saying, what do you mean unknown? It's all unknown. You've never experienced it before. So how can you possibly know it? That's why you came here. To move and evolve beyond what you've already known. Because if you already know what's coming, why the hell would you show up? That's a rerun. So trust it. trust it, say thank you for it, and love the desire for what it is. Evidence that something new is on its way, and your job is to create a space for it, and you don't even have to know how it's going to show up. The desire will guide you. When you say yes to it and open up to it and ask it, okay, what can I do to create a space for you so that you are comfortable and I have room in my life for you? Then the desire will say, okay, work on this. Okay, work on this. Oop, okay, insight, right? Epiphany, inspiration. Oh, today's the day that I build the site, or today's the day that I have the conversation, or today's the day that I do the thing. It will guide you, but you got to trust it. So while we're in these intense energies, and I'm telling you guys, get used to it, get comfortable in the discomfort of the intensity, because it's going to be a wild ride from now to the end of the year, but that doesn't mean that you can't handle it. This is what you came for. This is why you're here, to go through this monumental, spectacular experience of growing and evolving beyond what we have previously known as possible for the human. So just let go. And love the desire as it shows up, and get excited. Ooh, I can't wait. The desire is like the notification email that my package is on the way. Ooh, yay, desire. Okay, let's find a way to love that. So that's it. I'll put the links for the soul expansion and all that stuff in the description. Don't forget to watch my radio show today, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, transformationtalkradio.com. You can also go to my website and look for the radio tab and just click on that tab. And you can listen to the archived episodes. If you missed the live version, you can listen to the replay. I'm going to finish my cold brew, do my laundry, get ready for my radio show. Thank you as always for watching, you guys. I love you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.